Today we're going to talk about something we've all felt, but maybe haven't put into words. What exactly happens when respect disappears? It's the super subtle process, right? But figuring it out is key to basically every relationship in our life.
You know the feeling, don't you? That weird, kind of cold moment when you realize the way someone looks at you or talks to you has shifted. There's this new distance, and you're left wondering, wait, what just happened? When did that change?
And see, that's the whole thing. Respect doesn't usually just shatter in one big, dramatic moment. It's not some explosion. It's much more like a slow leak, a gradual wearing away that happens over time, caused by a bunch of small things that just pile up. So, what causes this slow burn? Well, we've kind of boiled it down to what we can call the 4 respect killers. These are the core behaviors that, a lot of times without us even realizing it, just dismantle the very foundation of respect. Let's dive in.
Okay, first up is the consistency gap. And honestly, this is probably the biggest one. It's that space between what you say you're going to do and what you actually do. It's all about integrity, you know? The moment people see a disconnect there, a tiny little crack starts to form in their trust.
Just think about it. On one side, you've got the promise. Hey, I'll have that report on your desk by Friday, no problem. But then, on the other side is the reality. Monday morning comes and just crickets. Every single time that gap shows up, the foundation of respect gets a little bit weaker. All right, next up, the accountability void. This one is huge. It's that knee-jerk reaction to dodge responsibility, to blame anything and everything else, or even other people when something goes wrong. For other people, seeing someone refuse to own their stuff is a massive red flag. And it's crazy how true this is, right? Just those 4 little words, "it wasn't my fault," can completely tank your credibility in an instant. Owning your mistakes actually builds trust, while passing the buck just destroys it. The third killer, the empathy deficit. You see, respect is built on seeing other people as, well, people with valid feelings and perspectives. So when you consistently fail to even acknowledge where they're coming from, you're pretty much sending a loud and clear message, you just don't matter to me. And what does this look like in the real world? Oh, it's things like constantly interrupting someone when they're trying to speak, or brushing off their concerns with a, "it's not a big deal," or just generally acting like you couldn't care less what they're going through. All of this just makes people feel totally invisible. And finally, we have the authenticity fallacy. This is all about the show, the pretense. It's when you're constantly puffing up your accomplishments or just presenting a version of yourself that isn't quite real. Here's the thing, people have a pretty good detector for that stuff, and sooner or later they see right through it. Real is magnetic, fake is not. So once these respect killers have been at work for a while, then what? Let's talk about the consequences and how this whole thing can reach what you might call the point of no return. This timeline really shows you how it all unfolds. See, it starts with just a minor inconsistency. No big deal, right? But then, a pattern starts to emerge. People start connecting the dots. Before you know it, you hit the tipping point. Trust is broken. And from there, it's a short trip to the final stage. Respect vanishes. It's just gone.
And this is where a really crucial emotional flip happens. At the beginning, people might be curious. They might give you the benefit of the doubt. But when that curiosity sours and turns into contempt, where they just assume the worst about you, man, it is so hard to come back from that. Respect has officially left the building.
And the data really backs this up. A full 78% of people believe that once respect is truly fundamentally lost, it's pretty much impossible to ever get it all back. Think about that. That's almost 8 out of 10 people, which is exactly why stopping that erosion from happening in the first place is so incredibly important.
Okay, so that was all the bad news, the diagnosis of the problem. But it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. Let's totally shift gears here and talk about the solution, how to actually intentionally build respect that lasts.
This right here is the mindset shift that changes everything. You don't just win respect and then it's yours forever, like a trophy on a shelf. Nope. It's way more like physical fitness. You got to keep working at it. It's a practice, a reflection of who you are day in and day out. So it makes sense, right? If there are 4 respect killers, then there must be 4 powerful antidotes, and we're going to call them the 4 commitments. These are the positive, constructive habits that don't just stop the erosion of respect, they actively build it up.
And here they are. First, align your words and actions. That's the direct cure for the consistency gap. Second, own your outcomes, the good and the bad. That fills that accountability void right up. Third, listen to understand, not just to wait for your turn to talk. That's how you fight the empathy deficit.
And fourth, just be genuinely you. That is the ultimate fix for the authenticity fallacy.
So we'll end with this thought. You've probably heard the saying, and it is so true. Respect is earned in drops and lost in buckets. It's built up so slowly with all these small, consistent actions, the drops. But it can disappear all at once in a bucket. So the question we should all probably ask ourselves is, with everything we do and say today, what are we contributing to? A drop or a bucket?